Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, and I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Today, we're going to talk about Magic the Gathering collector boxes all across the plethora of Magic the Gathering. Every set, all around, collector boxes are going nuts. It's kind of a weird thing to watch. We'll talk a little bit about why I think that is happening. Then I want to get into a little bit of what you can do as a consumer if you're looking to pick up this kind of stuff, or if you're looking to sell some of your collector boxes. And we'll get talking into about store owning and that kind of stuff. So first and foremost, this is in my opinion, the current collector box market is a little bit of fallout in a delayed response to what has happened previously in the last 6 months to a year in Pokemon, and now it just kind of happened with Pokemon, and it's been kind of there with Magic, but now it's really fully coming on. And the thing that happened with Pokemon is that stores didn't have supply. Stores didn't have a back catalog of 20, 30, 40 booster boxes sitting in the back warehouse, sitting in the back room, because things weren't going super well for a long time. People didn't love the sets. There was just not this kind of back catalog of product. And then all of a sudden, boom, surging sparks happened. This huge boom of people and excitement came in, and the stores and the supply and the people who sell product simply didn't have the means to match the demand. And so the prices went up. And a very kind of similar thing is happening with Magic. I think it's delayed because Magic didn't have that huge negativity that Pokemon had 2 years ago. 2 years ago, you couldn't sell a Pokemon box. But 2 years ago, we had some really, really good Magic sets. I think Modern Horizons 3 was a year or two ago. You had, even like Lost Caverns of Ixalan, some of those older sets, Wilds of Eldraine, really good sets that people really, really enjoyed and liked. And so stores didn't have that negativity. They wanted boxes, things sold, but they didn't have the product now. They don't have the product now because the product did so well back then. So where stores for Pokemon weren't restocking on things, stores for Magic were trying to restock on things, but distro ran out, stores ran out, and then you kind of saw this kind of pick up. Now here's the big kicker. Now you have $1,200 to $1,300 Final Fantasy boxes. You have a Lord of the Rings Special Collector Edition box that hits $1,800, and you have these kind of market things to look at and to start saying, what's the best pulls in these things? And you start seeing the market say, man, maybe Modern Horizons 3 collector booster boxes at $400 are too cheap because of what you can pull in them, the serialized Emrakuls, the fetch lands, the cool stuff that you can get in there. Maybe those are too cheap. Maybe it's time to start revisiting those and opening them again and enjoying those sets. And all of a sudden it kind of snowballs into now what you have is a $500 Modern Horizons 3 collector booster box with really not a metric ton of supply on the market. So the big kicker here, the big difference between what we saw with Pokemon and what we are currently seeing with Magic is that Magic can't reprint the collector boxes. For the vast majority of them, they don't have the ability to do it because of the serialized cards. Your Modern Horizons 3 can't get reprinted because it has serialized cards. They really haven't reprinted a collector box in general yet. I'm just saying they have limited themselves for sure on these ones that have serialized cards. Bloomburrow doesn't have serialized cards, but we have never seen them reprint a collector box, and there's no semblance of rumor that they would ever do that. They don't seem to have the desire to go back and reprint a collector box. You take Pokemon, Surging Sparks, Destined Rivals, Journey Together, I don't think has seen a reprint, but you're seeing all these sets that were really, really big, really, really popular, the price spiked really hard, get massive reprints, huge stocks coming back into the market, and you see it dip a little bit, and then, it keeps going right back up. But in Magic, there's not that thing. The collector boxes, while everybody complains about them, and there's always issues, and there's different feelings about the different sets and whatever, they are really an item. I'm trying to avoid the word asset because this is not just an investing kind of conversation. This is also, again, I want to talk about people who are opening packs, that kind of thing, that they are an item that they cannot add more supply of. The supply that went through distro seems to be the only supply that we have ever had for collector boxes. You're even seeing like Aether Drift hitting kind of those, post-release, now all-time highs after the pre-order process and that kind of thing. Even Aether Drift and Murders at Carlisle Manor, boxes that people are going back to say, hey, there's not much that I can open anymore. What can I go back to enjoy and to take a second gander at? So that's kind of what is happening. Now, if you're a consumer, and this goes across the board to the consumers who are just opening packs, to the prosumers who are, maybe you're doing Whatnot, maybe you're opening packs for TCG Player and selling the singles. What do you do in this current situation? Well, first and foremost, the EV on most of the stuff is still significantly lower than the sealed product price. That's kind of the big factor that makes me worry about the prices of collector booster boxes, is that you're not seeing the singles scale up in the same way that you're seeing maybe the high end, maybe the higher end serialized cards are scaling up, but your average EV and the singles within the box without the outliers is not scaling up. And so I would be very cautious if you're somebody who opens a bunch of packs on Whatnot. If you're somebody who opens for singles, just remember, when you're opening a pack, you're still gambling in a big way. Now, if you're having some fun with some friends and open a couple packs in the store, I think it's a fun little, lottery ticket to see if you hit the serialized card. But the EV of the boxes doesn't seem to be scaling in the same way, because they are reprinting play boxes. They are reprinting and keeping those things in stock. The commander decks, Lord of the Rings commander decks, you look at the collector boxes, they're going crazy. You look at the Lord of the Rings decks, they've seen so many reprints, and the cards inside them have seen so many reprints, that they're not scaling up with the sealed product. So I'd be very cautious about that. For those of you who do like sealed collecting, I think one of the bigger aspects of this whole thing is that collector boxes are smaller. And so people, when you buy and you collect and you hoard a sealed product, a lot of things nobody ever talks about is space. And in the past, when you had big, bulky booster boxes, they took up a lot of space in the closet. Wives and family and whatever got upset because there's so much room taken up. I hear from one of my buddies who collects Pokemon. I'm always like, hey, you buying any of this set? He's like, no, I can't. My wife said I can't use up another closet. The space is a problem. But for collector boxes, they're tiny, they're small. So from a sealed product investing, collecting proponent, they also look beautiful on a shelf. Like the Tarkir Dragonstorm collector box looks absolutely beautiful on a shelf. So you have less product coming to the market, because as more and more product comes out with the bigger boxes, people end up selling some to make room, to take profit, to do the different things. But with collector boxes, they take up less room, so more people are more comfortable with holding them for a longer period of time and collecting them. So those are factors that I think go into this collector box kind of skyrocketing thing that we are currently seeing. Just be careful. Right now, we are in this weird world where everything seems to be going up. And I think for the next couple months, particularly like Pokemon has Pokemon's 30th anniversary coming out in a year, right? So Pokemon has this weird window where it might dip a little bit, but the 30th anniversary is going to be crazy for Pokemon. For Magic, we're kind of delayed a little bit on this. New sets have been really good. Obviously, Final Fantasy was huge. I think Final Fantasy has the ability to rocket ship a ton of the stuff as stores who sold their boxes and made thousands of dollars and did really, really well with Final Fantasy take a look at their shelf and start saying, hey, what do I want to restock on? Oh man, maybe I should stock up on some Bloomburrow boxes to sell packs, and maybe I should stock up on Modern Horizons 3. They start taking some of those products and finding other things in the market to pick up. You're starting to see a skyrocket, a lot of the reasons for those. But at the end of the day, it's still a little bit of a volatile market. There's still a lot going on in the world, a lot of interesting things that could happen. So just be careful. Don't overextend yourself with this kind of stuff. Remember to keep it a hobby and collectible and fun, and to not pick up things that you don't actually want just because they're going up. That FOMO, whenever you start buying, in my opinion, whenever you start buying something that you don't actually want, you're just afraid of missing out on it. It kind of loses the ability in my mind to, when I buy something, I want to enjoy it even if it goes down in value. It's like, I'm picking this up because I actually want it. If it goes to zero, I'm still happy having it. That's kind of my collectible investing mindset. So just be careful of that, because there is going to be a lot of FOMO over the next 3 to 4 months. I think there's going to be a lot of price differences and a lot of things going up and skyrocketing and that kind of stuff. So just make sure you have your head on straight. Those are my thoughts on collector booster boxes. It's just something that I've been watching and really interesting to see how fast things are selling out. Have yourselves a great day. Leave me your comments in the comment section. Remember to be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.